What's good, Commanders fans? I may show a clip of Chase Young running around, like kind of like a picture-in-picture, while I'm talking. Um, I'm gonna try to do that. But so I'm gonna start. So it's day one of minicamp, mandatory minicamp. So of course, Chase Young's there. Charles Leno is there. Montez Sweat is there. Everybody's there because they got to be there, or they'll be fine. I'm just here because I don't want to get fined, kind of thing. But so I'm going to talk about this Albert Breer article or Dov Kleiman article real quick that's saying that the Commanders are open to listen to trade offers about star pass rusher Chase Young. So this is something that really came out before the draft, like right before the draft. They're like, oh, Montez Sweat or Chase Young could possibly be traded. I highly doubt this happens because Ron Rivera, he knows that this is a make or break year for him. This is a do or die year for him. And he knows he needs Chase Young to be to reach his potential or even half of his potential, close to his potential this year for the Commanders to be successful. Because what you trade Chase Young for, you're not going to trade him for a player that's going to help this year. You're probably going to trade Chase Young for a pick that will help the next coach next year or the next staff next year. So trading Chase Young is not going to do anything for the Commanders at this point for the 2023 season. If you trade Chase Young, most likely it's going to be a 2024 pick or a 2024 pick or a 2025 pick, probably like a third round, fourth round, maybe second round pick at best for Chase Young. So that's why this article, it may be true, but I don't see Ron doing this. It doesn't help you at the moment. Like, there's no point in doing this at this point. Like, if you're going to trade Chase Young, then you probably were going to do it before the draft, honestly. But, so I'll read a little bit of the article. He says, the Commanders are open to listening to trade offers from other teams for star pass rusher Chase Young, according to Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated. Young's presence at the Commanders minicamp has once again drawn attention to Washington's situation with their edge rushers. The team has already committed to significant resources to interior defensive lineman Daron Payne, John Allen, which could make it challenging to afford big contracts for two more pass rushers in Young and Montez Sweat. Breer suggests that teams who feel the need additional help in their pass rush may make trade inquiries about Chase Young. While it appears unlikely that Washington would move Young, especially in a crucial year, the team seems willing to listen to offers. Interestingly, there are a number of college pass rushers still available on the market. The news comes after the Commanders decided not to exercise Chase Young's fifth-year option back in April. Consequently, Young is set to become a free agent next March, unless he reaches a long-term agreement with the team this summer or during the upcoming season. Such an agreement seems unlikely unless Young can maintain good health throughout 2023. He struggled with injuries, appeared in only 11 games over the past two seasons due to an ACL tear. So, like I said before, like even Albert Breer says that the deal seems unlikely. It appears unlikely that Washington would move Young. So it's just an article. I feel like it may be really just for clicks. I mean, that's just what writers do. It is what it is. It's a business. So I get why writers do stuff like this, but I mean, maybe hearing that this is the truth. I mean, maybe Ron is telling him that, or Martin Mayhew, who knows? But I think it's a 1% chance that Chase Young gets traded. So I'll move on to more important stuff here. Let's talk about what actually happened at practice today. So Warren Sapp was at practice today. Remember, he was there last year for OTAs and minicamp. He's good friends with Jeff Zagonia, the defensive line coach. They played together, I believe. So he's been there. Last year, he said they were like bowling balls and butcher knives. So anytime the guys can soak up knowledge from a Hall of Famer like Warren Sapp, they certainly should do that on the defensive line for sure. And then Ron Rivera, he talks about the quarterback camp competition. He said, quote, I do. He said, Ron Rivera, if there's still a quarterback competition, he said, quote, I do. Just because I said Hal's going to start off as quarterback one doesn't mean he's going to finish as quarterback one. I like to believe, though, that if he goes out and does the things he's capable of, he has a very good chance of doing that. So you got to remember, he's a professional. Yes, he's a backup. He's been a backup for the majority of his career, but he did start in Indianapolis because Andrew Luck retiring. He did have a couple starts with the Patriots. He started last year with the Browns. It actually wasn't half bad. Has a really good touchdown interception ratio, which is not the end all be all, but he doesn't turn over the football. You know, Ron loves quarterbacks who don't turn over the football because he's a defensive minded guy, field position, tough defense, running the football. That's what Ron Rivera, that's his identity. So Jacoby could certainly go out there and do that, kind of like Alex Smith, and just not make mistakes. He's certainly capable of doing that. And Jacoby wasn't bad last year. He was better than Deshaun Watson last year. Deshaun Watson was awful. I mean, I know Deshaun didn't play in like 2 years, but Jacoby was the better quarterback between the two for sure. So you can't sleep on Jacoby. Sam Howell, essentially to me, he's not a rookie, but you know he's only had one start. So I do think Sam's going to start, but Jacoby, he will not wet the bed if he comes in there and plays, and that's what we know. We know we have a legitimate backup in there that started many games. And Jacoby's seen a lot of defenses and has a strong arm. So not a bad backup at all. Ron Rivera also said that Chase Young will be the starter, of course. Somebody asked him that. He said, absolutely. He said, quote, he started to get healthier by the end of the year, and we just want to see him pick up where he left off, talking about Chase Young as well. Any concerns about Chase Young? Ron Rivera says we'll find out today. I'm pretty confident, though, because he looked good. He really did. I know the doctors were all positive about everything he's done. Also talked about him training with Von Miller. He didn't bring up Von Miller's name, but he said that Chase Young wasn't there at OTAs because he wanted to focus on the knee and exercises. There was a clip of Chase Young working out with Von Miller where they have there's a weight. He's pulling it with his leg, one leg just pulling it. So it was definitely an interesting workout that I saw Chase Young do with Von Miller. All right, so let's get into the play-by-play here and some news of guys who didn't participate in practice. So Jamin Davis was on the side field with Casimir Allen as well with a hamstring injury. I'm gonna go to Linnell Willingham. He works for 106.7 The Fan. I'm gonna go to his page real quick because he had a lot of play-by-play stuff today. There's one tweet that he put out about Eric Bieniemy that was pretty darn funny that definitely circulated. Yeah, so he said Eric Bieniemy just yanked someone out of the huddle for not going hard enough. He said, "Get out of the huddle, ain't wasting no effing reps." Eric Bieniemy fired up. So we know how Eric is, man. He just doesn't play around. He doesn't have time to waste. So if somebody's playing around, fooling around and wasting reps, then he's gonna pull you out. He's gonna call you out and yank you out of practice. So now Linnell, he said he would not disclose the player's name. So it is what it is on that part for sure. Now, Linnell also says that Andrew Wiley's showing off his wills on a screen pass. He says really nice rep from Emmanuel Forbes versus Dotson on a double move. They've been picking up on the young pup quite a bit today. So Emmanuel Forbes holding his own out there. Definitely got to test the rookie for sure. He says a little trash talking between Bates and Chase Young after a rep. Also, Nikki Javala said that Chase Young looked good today. She said that Chase Young looked good today out there. Lake Lewis said Chase Young looked good out there today and looked explosive. So nothing but good thing. Yeah, she said Chase Young looks pretty good, more confident, just dipped under Cornelius Lucas for a would-be sack of Sam Howell, no contact, and can't touch quarterback anyway during team drill. So Chase Young did look good when he played, and definitely would have got a sack on Sam Howell against Cornelius Lucas. I'm looking for the Lake Lewis still. Lake Lewis also said Chase Young has been disruptive today on the edge. He looks good and showing no signs of rust, so that's good. He did have the knee brace on, but it's just precautionary, and I think we'll see if he has it on during the season. So as long as he's moving fluidly and moving crisply, just like Lake Lewis and Nikki Javala said, then I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what Chase Young can do. This is a contract year, man. It's a big year for him. It's a huge year. Linnell said Chase Young had a nice rep against Charles Lano, showing some good bend off the edge. He also said that Jake from State Farm with an absolute dime to Mitchell Tinsley. Linnell said Sam's struggling with his accuracy a tad bit in the 11 versus 11 session. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. He did throw some interceptions. We're talking about practice. It is practice, so he's got to get the bad stuff out of his system in practice. But he once again had an up and down day. Linnell Willingham says Khalid Hudson had an interception off of Sam Howell off of a deflection. So Khalid Hudson has been a standout so far in OTAs and minicamp. Jack Del Rio said good things about him as well. Linnell also said screen game going to be heavy emphasis for this offense. Sadiq Charles showing off his athleticism. So I think Sadiq Charles, all signs are pointing to him to start at the left guard position against Chris Paul. So we'll see how that works out. Linnell also said Sam Howell just threw a beautiful pass to Logan Thomas in between two defenders. Logan Thomas with a great catch. So I've given Logan Thomas a hard time, but I mean, he should be 100% healthy. I think last year he wasn't 100% healthy coming back from the ACL injury. So Logan Thomas could have a bounce back season. I'm intrigued. Linnell also says Sam Howell has looked bacon crisp in this 7 versus 7 period. Couple of really nice throws. One thing that has jumped out from Sam today is ball placement, showing tremendous touch. Sam Howell took a deep shot intended for Kyron McGowan. Quan Martin got his hands on the football. Christian Holmes makes a super acrobatic interception. The defense is amped up. He also says Sam Howell to Logan Thomas has been a pretty consistent connection here this afternoon. Defense has held this offense in check during 11 versus 11 work today. Chase Young just flushed out Sam Howell with a nice move on Charles Lano. The defense has forced the quarterbacks to hold the ball a lot during 11 versus 11, secondary turning into a huge strength. So that's showing that Emmanuel Forbes and Quan Martin have certainly helped, man, with this defense, man. They're getting their hands on a lot of footballs, a lot of deflections that I'm hearing since they have started playing in OTAs and in minicamp. Derek Forrest also said that that these guys are super developed, man. He said that he said, addressing the media, he said he doesn't think he's ever seen two DBs coming as savvy and impressive as Quan Martin and Emmanuel Forbes. So that's high praise from Derek Forbes, who had a heck of a season last year. Chase Young, John Cobb just said that Chase Young is feeling pretty explosive as well coming back. Let's see if there's anything else here that is important or noteworthy. Screen game looking good. Already talked about that. Zach Selby said, wow, Logan Thomas just made a really nice sideline grab from Sam Howell. Oh, Rashad Wildgoose had some really nice plays today per Matt Paris. In the slot this afternoon, Howell just targeted Dax Milne, but Wildgoose tipped it up, leading into an interception for Khalid Hudson. So Rashad Wildgoose, who had an up and down season last year, let's see if he can come in and make the roster and play slot and provide some more versatility to this roster. So yeah, that's basically. Oh, Jahan Dotson was returning punts today too. Ben Standing caught that on camera. He said Jahan Dotson with the punt returners at the start of practice. Dax Milne, Kyrick McGowan, and Mitchell Tinsley also fielding punts. So with Casimir Allen not being available to play or practice, they're trying Jahan Dotson. I would be intrigued to see that. Of course, I want to keep him healthy and not risk it with him playing special teams. But we do need some more pizzazz and some more flipping the field from our punt returner. We just don't get that consistently from Dax Milne at all. All right, so that's basically it, man. There was a couple interviews and quotes. Like they talked to Sam Cosmi, they talked to Deron Payne, they talked to a bunch of players. Not going to go through all their quotes because that would be a lot. But for the most part, the synopsis, I mean, the summary is that Ron Rivera said that it is going to be a quarterback competition. And that basically Sam Howell's going to have to go out there and earn it. And Chase Young looks good. And this article from Albert Breer, I just don't see that happening at all. I don't see Chase Young getting traded. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about practice today and the Chase Young news or rumor. Hell's Commanders. Peace.